John DeSando. Listen to the shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Dan Mushalko.
And this is It's Movie Time. And Dan, you're the president of WCBE. I want to thank you so much for stopping by, particularly on this day when you are going 24 hours for your fundraiser, for
Yes.
the second end of your fundraiser. So pleased to have it here, but that's not. Our business is talking about movies.
Yes.
Okay. And we have another Star Wars story.
Is it great?
It's called Solo, a Star Wars story. Dan, what can this possibly do for us?
Expand the canon.
How?
Oh, well, we've got so much. Look, listen, first, the very, very first movie starts with a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. We're talking about a galactic empire as the basis of the settings for these stories.
All right.
And there are billions of planets in a galaxy.
Sure.
So potentially, there are billions upon billions of stories to tell. So
wonderful.
you get a fertile imagination, and Star Wars is the perfect place to express it.
All right, so, agreed. In other words, for our lifetimes, we're going to have more and more of these stories.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Disney or somebody's cranking these out at least once a year.
And my hope is that Kathleen Kennedy keeps the quality up. It's like anything else. It's like the short story editor of a magazine, right? You want to make sure you're getting the best writers and the best stories being told, and the franchise can last forever. If the quality goes down, eventually even fanboys like me are going to be unforgiving.
All right, Dan, now, this is the story. This is the backstory or the origin story of Han Solo.
On the surface, yes.
On the surface, right. So what does it tell us about Solo?
It tells us how he became the rogue with a golden heart.
Okay,
You know?
nice.
And that's apparent in the very first movie.
All right, so he's the biggest, the best jockey in the galaxy, or all of the galaxy, right? And so we learn from the beginning how he became this jockey.
Right.
How he became a romantic hero.
Yeah.
So, but Dan, the elephant in this room is Harrison Ford.
Yes. Yes.
So talk to me.
I will say, even as a fanboy,
yes,
you cannot replace Harrison Ford.
You can't.
I mean, he defined the role of Han Solo. He put so much of his own personality into that role that to bring in anyone, even Laurence Olivier, could not replicate Han Solo the way Harrison Ford
I agree with you. And, that's been my thesis all along about movies.
Yeah.
The really brilliant people, they're the ones who find the Alden Ehrenreich, the ones who find the Alden Ehrenreich and get them into that movie. How do they know he's going to be, how do they know he has such a great smile on the screen?
I don't know.
They test it, I know. But still, you're picking out of millions of people, and all of a sudden you see this guy in Hail Caesar for the Coen brothers. You say, I think it was really a goofy role.
Yeah. And how did someone see the potential of that role?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And it goes even further back. Steven Spielberg discovered Alden at a bat mitzvah.
Yes,
What
that's right.
was Spielberg, when he was looking across the crowd, how did he say, that guy should be in movies?
I know. But that's why they're making millions of dollars and making these movies, because they do have these insights. Dan, it seems to me as we watch it, there were a lot of set pieces. Is this the kind of movie that's going to be prominent in the canon or not? In other words, I guess I'm saying is, I see a lot of set pieces. I see a lot, as one commentator said, this is like a Wikipedia entry.
Yeah.
So, this is why Chewbacca, this is why Solo, this is why all the answers are there.
And I think that's why it is going to be one of the bigger pieces in the canon of movies.
Okay.
I mean, let's face it, it's already better than all three of the prequel movies that Lucas did. Right out of the gate.
All right.
To me, it is the first of all the subsequent films after A New Hope. It is the first one to finally recapture the just plain swashbuckling fun of the very first Star Wars movie, of A New Hope. It just has that whole Saturday matinee, just the good guys are going to get them, there's going to be adventure, and they're going to battle the bad guys, and you always know who the bad guys and who the good guys are right out of the gate. It's just a fun movie.
Do you think the fanboys will pick it apart?
Oh,
They
yeah.
always do.
Yeah,
don't
they always do. And you know, come on, people. You know, you've got to express the art. You have to give some, you know, allowance for each director expressing him or herself, each, you know, actor putting their own parts into the roles. Now, with this, I really don't think there's a lot for fanboys to justifiably criticize.
Okay.
Ron Howard and Kasdan, Lawrence Kasdan and his son Jonathan,
Yes.
the writers, they did a fantastic job of throwing these wonderful bones to the diehard fans.
Yes.
You had, in one of the bar scenes, you have the same aliens that were in the cantina
Yeah,
on
right,
Tatooine
that's
in
right.
the original movie.
It's a good one. It's a
Yeah.
good. I agree with you.
Yeah.
You look at it, you say, okay, they're not doing an injustice to the original.
No.
In fact, they're kind of making it a little bit new.
They're
here.
making a tribute to it, even, and this is what, as not just a fanboy, but as a science geek, I loved that they played with the mistakes that were made in the very first movie, in A New Hope. One of the things people criticized in it is that Han says, you know, the Millennium Falcon, she's the ship that made the Kessel Run in under 20 parsecs. Well, a parsec is a unit of distance. It is not a unit of time.
Okay.
Okay, and so, you know, the science geeks were like, oh, what Lucas do there? That's insane. That's incorrect. Well, in this movie, you learn about the Kessel Run, and they intentionally emphasize how many parsecs it takes to make the Kessel Run. It's like they're throwing it back. Yeah, we made a mistake, and we're going to do it again.
But you know, you're reminding me that Kessel Run
Yeah.
is such a MacGuffin.
Oh,
I mean, you can't even make sense out of this little thing. But it's so much a tradition
Yeah.
of these kind of adventure films.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and Hitchcock knew it when he planted his little pieces of business that you all went for that didn't mean a thing in the end.
Yeah.
And because, Dan, would you agree this is a film of character?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that was my feeling,
Yeah.
that if there were to be an objection, it might be that it's not epic enough.
Yes and no. I, for one, I appreciate, and that to me is the Ron Howard touch.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Ron has a knack for taking something that could be just action-driven and injecting humanity into it. And I don't remember what happened, why they had to switch directors during production, why Ron Howard came in, but I am glad he did, because he gave the franchise the human touch it needed so much, and in combination with the Kasdans. Now, the Kasdans, the elder Kasdan, he wrote The Empire Strikes Back, which is held by most fanboys to be the best of the Star Wars films. But it is dark, and it is, the archetypes come out to the fore in a very dark way. So, character-driven, oh yeah, but very heavily. Not fun per se. But this one, Ron Howard's able to take that deep character analysis that the Kasdans do, but give it that nice, light, bright human touch.
Well, you know,
round it out.
Our listeners can look forward to seeing, who is it, Lando
Calrissian.
see how Donald Glover plays him.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we're not going to tell you. You're going to have to see it to see which one you like better. And I'm going to say you're not wasting your time by looking at it.
It is a worthy comparison.
Chewbacca is there.
Yeah. And that is an amazing story in itself. The guy who plays Chewbacca is 6 feet 11 inches.
Basketball player.
Yeah. So did not need a lot of lifting done in the costume. This dude is amazingly tall, but he plays Chewbacca so well, so fluidly.
Yeah. And the story of how Han meets him is really a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
And unexpected.
It is unexpected. It is good. Well, Dan Mushalko, listen, let's stop. We could go on forever here. The film is Solo, a Star Wars story. So, Mr. President, what is your grade for this film?
I am going to give it an A-.
Ah, very good.
A-.
All right. And I'm going to award it a B, not because I'm not a fanboy or whatever, simply because I see a lot that's just derives from the whole complex of stories of Star Wars. But I have to admit that I'm closer to your A- than I am to my B. Now, Dan, you have just come off of your solo tour for fundraising. And I certainly wish you and our whole station the best on doing this. But I think you weren't solo. And,
No.
and I think you had a lot of help.
It was a village.
All right, Dan, go home, get some rest.
Thanks, John, and may the force be with you.
Ah!